What drove you towards joining the CEO program at VSI?
Well, it's something that I've always wanted to do. Was do an executive level course, and I think it really, if I take a step back, it really goes back to maybe being an athlete and the traits that I had as an athlete, and it was really about bettering myself. I think as athletes day to day, we consistently try to better ourselves and chase goals. And this was the VSI program really kind of exemplified that and gave me the opportunity to really push on from where I am right now. I wanted to really kind of self I'd gone through a process of real self evaluation, and I was happy with what I achieved, but very much wanted to do more. And I think probably I love my, as Tony knows on the VSI course, I like my quotes, and it's probably one that really some answers the question for me. And it's about perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. And that was by Vince Lombardi, a famous American coach who I'm sure you know. And it was really that kind of, as I said, to answer the question, it's very much about chasing excellence for me, and the VSI program and the delegates that I get to interact with, and the speakers really typify that for me.
And obviously, you've just said there, still in the middle of the program, so you're slightly suspended with the current situation. But so far, your experience of the program, how is it benefiting you and your role now at Under Armour?
It's been very, very positive. As I said, one of the things I did was self-evaluate, and it really makes you realize. It makes you evaluate your strengths and your weaknesses, constructively evaluate your weaknesses. You see areas that there's obvious areas you can improve on straight away. You interact with people that have certain skill sets that you can kind of work together and learn from these guys, your fellow delegates. Hopefully, you bring something to better them as well. And I think there's a real synergy between everybody's backgrounds, obviously grounded in sport and business. So yeah, absolutely. I think the strategic approach that I've learned, just as I said, the day-to-day interaction with people has massively benefited my current role.
And so looking at it, obviously you were an Olympian, then at Nike, now Under Armour. You've always worked at a senior level in sport, wherever that may be. And obviously that involves a lot of networking, sharing ideas, sharing knowledge. VSI has its own very unique kind of exclusive network itself. How is that network there helped maybe expand your own network you built up over the years and opened up the doors?
Sorry, can you repeat that question, Nial? Sorry.
Sure, yeah. So I probably made it longer than it needed to be fair. But just talk about networking. Obviously, your roles at Under Armour and Nike, and as an athlete, you had your own network. VSI, again, has its own unique network. How has the VSI network in particular helped to expand your own, and has it opened other doors for you in that time?
Yeah, it has. VSI, the program, as I said, in terms of the reasons why I joined the course, was the interaction with the other delegates. And while as a common thread in terms of our background in business and sport, some of the delegates have unique skill sets, unique backgrounds, and I think just learning from those and interacting with them day to day has broadened my approach to business, my insights to business. So yeah, the interaction day to day and the networking has been really, really positive from my side.
And has there been any particular highlights so far of your time on the program, kind of in the classroom or out the classroom?
I wouldn't say there was one highlight. I think it's just the process of just growing and going from it gets progressively better every day. I mean, you can feel yourself growing, yeah, and you feel challenged all the time, at many times. There's times it's not easy, but I welcome that challenge. And as I said, maybe taking learnings from being an athlete. I want to try and continue to better myself. So I very much welcome the challenge of the VSI program, and certainly it has challenged me, as I said. But it's just that continuous process of growth. And getting to a point where you can really see what success looks like and needs to look like, more importantly. So that would really be how I would frame that answer.
And you started at VSI, shall we say, maybe mid-career? Obviously, you've done very well at Nike and Under Armour. Did you have any reservations about kind of going back to study at this point in your career? And if so, how have they been alleviated?
I would, yes, I would say, and more because my role is a challenge. My current role in sport is a challenging role, and it's time precious. So I really wanted to be able to, I did my due diligence in terms of research. I met with Tony from the program. I spoke to current and previous delegates, and was very impressed with what they had to offer. But I wanted to make sure that I could fully commit to get the best out of the course, and so it was really just making sure that I could have the time to do it. And I think the way that we've set up the course works very well in terms of my workloads. And as I say, as we now progress throughout the course, it's very interesting to be able to take learnings from the VSI program and implement it in your current day-to-day role. So it's certainly a win-win scenario now.
Great stuff. And so yourself and other delegates at VSI have kind of made that transition from being a pro athlete into the business side of sport. Do you think your career as an athlete helped your career to where you are now, having an experience in pro sport and being able to adapt some of those experiences into the kind of the business boardroom side of things?
Yeah, it's there's no short answer to this one from my personal experience. It's an area of interest, and probably I would say passion, is this transition from pro athletes to the world of sport. There's, in many cases, in many respects, there's a lot of synergies. Athletes are very, in many respects, they approach their sport strategically. They're results oriented. They're driven. They have a number of. I think I saw an interesting quote where I think it was PwC interviewed a number of CEOs, and they said 77% of 77% of CEOs said that they see athletes having a number of soft skills like determination, dedication, discipline, and that's something they see as a real attribute. They see as real attributes within the business world, and athletes certainly have that. So yeah, I think in some respects, if you can plan that transition, you can certainly make the step, and athletes can be a real value add to any company, wherever the level. So that would be the straightforward, easier answer. In my scenario, it was quite a difficult process in many respects because, unfortunately, my career was curtailed due to an injury. So there's a famous quote that says an athlete dies twice, and I would probably have to say that yes, when I lost my career, it was a difficult process. You go through a lot of change, loss of identity, and I think probably it's summed up by there's a journey or model by Kubler-Ross which goes through five stages of change or grief. They actually liken saying it's akin to grief. So I would say I probably went through all five stages. In many respects, that process of change has really helped me to be where I am today. I can certainly look back, take learnings from what I've done as an athlete, and really start to implement it in my day-to-day role as a business person.
That's a great answer. Thank you very much. And I got one more question from Stills I sent through, was just kind of, so anyone watching this video thinking of joining the CEO program at VSI, what advice can you give them as to why they should join and how it will help them in the long run with their careers?
Yeah, it's a good question, but I think my answer would be clear about why you want to do, don't just do it for the sake of doing it for a box tick on your CV. Have really clear objectives, be able to implement it in your day-to-day, your current role and also your future roles. So do your due diligence, speak to current delegates, past delegates, and learn from them as well. And very much do your research. But absolutely, I would encourage anyone to do the VSI course. It's exceptional. As I said at the start of this, like I'm chasing excellence, and the VSI program certainly exemplifies excellence.